What is up, all of you fine, lovely people and animals? I'm here with another match replay video, and this will be um, I'll be walking through me giving my opponent the blades and talking about how exactly I gave them the blades, and maybe a little bit about how I could have done it better, and definitely a lot about how I'm better than them. So this is the list I was playing with, real quick. I think it's the same as from my last video. Oh no, the last one was the snow list. This is the list I'm going to be taking to SCG Syracuse. Pretty normal, I think. No tendrils still. I'm still on the Jace plan. It's been working well, so I'm going to stick with it. Um, so yeah, let's just jump right into the game. So this was kind of an interesting match. Go on down here. I think it was this one, right? Yes. All right. So that hand was pretty bad, as you could see. This hand is not great, but I believe I kept this one because if I just drew another land or something, I was going to be able to cast the Frenzy. So this one was a keep for me. And I think I put the Jace on the bottom. Yep. We'll just hit play here. So my opponent goes, they play a Thespian Sage in Mox Diamond, pitching another Thespian Sage. So at this point, I think it's depth, like slow depth. Um, then they play a Sylvan Library, which is pretty common in slow depth. So I'm figuring I'm up against depths. I did draw the second land, so that's a good sign. So I just play that to help dodge Wasteland and hold up Brainstorm. Um, and then they drew cards and played a Wasteland. So I'm not in the mood to fetch a non-basic land there. Going a little fast. So I fetched the basic. Now, one thing that's interesting about depths is like any time they don't like how should I phrase this? They weren't going to be killing me here. They didn't have any green mana. They didn't have dark depths. So the earliest they were going to be able to kill me, like I was guaranteed to get one more turn, basically. So I fetched the basic island there to play around Wasteland because I wanted to brainstorm and step. I didn't want to get Wastelanded. So I put some crap back. I kept this polluted delta, which I'm going to use. I fetch a basic swamp here, and I just cast or just play the land and pass again. So basically, I know at this point that I'm going to get at least one more turn in which I'll be able to play Frenzy and hope to go off. So they drew a bunch of cards again, play out some crap, Loam, and play their land and pass here. And then they cycle this Tranquil Thicket. Now, they tap the Wasteland, but I'm still going to get the basic here because the chances of me actually killing on the spot are pretty slim. So that Thoughtseize isn't going to do anything, especially, like, I could cast the Thoughtseize here, which is worth thinking about. I could go Dark Ritual, Thoughtseize, and then tap the Badlands and the Island and have 4 mana for the Experimental Frenzy. But if you think about it, they have one card left. I don't know what it is. It's probably... Oh, no, I know what it is at that point? No, they didn't loam when they cycled that thicket. Anyway, so one card, I don't know what it is. But they're going to see 3 new cards off Sylvan Library, so that Thoughtseize is just not very useful. There's no point in spending the mana on it. It's better to keep the island up in case there's a cantrip on top. There's a Jace, which I decided to play, which maybe was a bad idea. But at any rate, I know I'm going to get one more turn, so I'm basically just hoping that I'll be able to put it together on this turn. I decided to brainstorm upkeep, and I put back Doomsday in the land, but I did that wrong. I should have drawn the Doomsday so that I could play the fetch land and crack it. But anyway, I was able to play a couple spells, a Lion's Eye Diamond, and then I used Jace to mill myself basically to get past the Doomsday that was on top of my deck, because I screwed up the order there. And so I cracked this LED for 3 blue. I would rather use it to make 3 black, but I wanted to keep going because my time on this game feels pretty limited. They have Sylvan Library and Life from the Loam going, so they're going to find something to kill me pretty quick. So basically, I felt the need to push for a faster kill. So I preordain, and I take the petal, and I hit a Frenzy on top, unfortunately. So I whiff, and here they have Crop Rotation. And so they can Crop Rotate for Dark Depths and have the mana to activate it. And so I was dead at that point. So that's game one. I was not fast enough. Made some little mistakes that potentially cost me the game, but who knows? That's the thing with Frenzy, you can't really know. So anyway, game two. At this point, also, I realized that I'm against lands. It's not depths. It's really lands. And so I brought in the Echoing Truths and a Braid. And normally against depths, I would leave a Braid out and just bring in Echoing Truth. And against depths, I would probably also cut Cabal Rituals. Maybe not. I don't know. I need to think about that. Anyway, this hand was not great. I basically was relying on them not having a turn 1 Sphere of Resistance because I really wanted to fetch basic Island and Ponder. If I had to, I could Duress or Thoughtseize off the Lotus Petal, but I didn't really want to be doing that. So I Ponder, I shuffle that Ponder, I drew another Dark Writ, and I decided to just pass the turn. And they play Exploration, and here I'm concerned. I figure Sphere is coming, but nope, it's just the library. So now I draw an Echoing Truth, which is not great, but this Brainstorm is pretty good. So I draw the Scalding Tarn. Basically, I have a decision to make. I can play a land, play my Scalding Tarn, crack it for Underground Sea or whatever, get Dark Writ, or Dark Writ into Doomsday and make a pass turn pile. The Sylvan Library is making my discard spells weak. And the fact that they didn't play a Sphere of Resistance or something last turn means that they likely don't have anything relevant in their hand for me to discard anyway. So I decide that I'm going to put back the Thoughtseize and the Duress, and then I fetch the Underground Sea, I think, maybe Badlands, Underground Sea, and I go Dark Writ into Doomsday. And so I'm basically, my plan is to set up a pile. I believe what I did was, let's see if we can see it here. Act on Impulse, and then an Lion's Eye Diamond, Jace, and the last card was an Island. I don't think there's any major reason for me to pick an Island. I think that was just any card, basically. I'm just going for Act on Impulse into LED Jace. So nothing crazy going on here. I'm basically just hoping that they don't have anything, because I really don't have any other play. And now Doomsday piles are kind of messed up a lot of the time in replays, so this might not play out right. But they didn't do anything on their turn. And so, yeah, so the Doomsday pile didn't work. The Doomsday pile is upside down, basically, in replays for some reason. But anyway, so I just went off there and I killed them. So I felt like I got lucky there because I was basically taking the risk that they didn't have anything. And, like, I literally mean anything. I've seen Pyroblasts out of the sideboard lands decks. Wasteland on the Underground Sea would have fucked me there. Obviously, a Sphere would have done it. So lots of ways that could have gone wrong. But anyway, so now I'm on the draw. That hand was pretty bad. Now, this is an interesting one. This hand is not great on first sight. It looks like a mull. But my hypothesis is that it was, in fact, not a mull, which is exactly what I decided to do. So I keep this hand because, well, maybe I won't ruin it. So I keep this hand, and we go through. They play Monk's Diamond, and then they play Rishedan Port, and then they pass. So to me, my hand's risky to begin with, but to me this hand, because they didn't play a sphere, if they had Sphere of Resistance, they would have played it, or Thorn of Amethyst or whatever, they would have played it. They're holding up port, so this kind of screams to me like they have a quick Merit Lage kill, and they just want to keep my mana tied down long enough to buy them the turn that they need to kill me. So I draw another Lotus Petal, I think. Oh, it's another Brainstorm. That's fine. So I'm at an interesting point here, because I realize that I can make a pass a turn pile from this position that kills next turn, pass turn pile, and isn't going to open me up to port because I don't have any fucking lands. So obviously it's going to die to a lot of stuff, but I can play around the type of hate that they've presented. And so I'm going to, maybe this is the point where you want to pause a little bit and see if you can figure out the pile, because it's a bit unorthodox. So just pause the video for a sec. Okay, now restart it, and we'll go and check out what I did. So I play Lotus Petal, play Dark Rit, Doomsday. And then the pile is a real spicy number. Let's see if we can spread this a little bit. So I grab a Lotus Petal and Lion's Eye Diamond, and another Lion's Eye Diamond, another Lotus Petal, and Jace. So you'll notice that there's no Act on Impulse, there's no Experimental Frenzy in here, because I don't need it. And that's the beauty of Jace milling 2 cards, basically, is that you can have extra cards in your pile and win. So what I did was, the pile is Jace on the bottom, and then Lotus Petal, LED, LED, Lotus Petal. And so I don't think it's going to go that way when it plays out because of the mess up Doomsday pile order thing. But so Jace on the bottom. Oh, it's Jace on the bottom, and then Petal, LED, LED, Petal. So next turn, I would draw a Petal, Brainstorm, drawing 2 LEDs and a Petal, put back Duress and a Cantrip, and then I play out the LEDs and the Petal, Cantrip into and crack the LEDs, Cantrip into Jace, and then there's 2 cards left in my deck that Jace mills over and I win. So that pile is doable if you have 2 extra cards and 2 cantrips, and you only need the 1 mana available after Doomsday. So they crop rot for Ancient Tomb and play Exploration, and then Thespian Stage and Dark Depths. So basically, I was completely correct in my assessment. They had the crop rot, a quick Dark Depths kill, and the port to try and keep me off my mana just long enough that they could do the thing. But that's okay. So I draw Lotus Petal, I cast it, Brainstorm. I wonder why this pile is in the right order. Brainstorm into those things, put back 2 cards. So an interesting thing to note here is I put back Duress and Brainstorm, because I put back Brainstorm because I was thinking there was going to be 2 cards left in my deck. There's actually 3, and strictly speaking, I opened myself up to like a Warping Whale or something here. They have 1 card left in their hand. They have Warping Whale mana. Unlikely, not unheard of. And so I could have played this a little bit better and not exposed myself to Warping Whale, but it didn't end up mattering. Ponder into the Jace. Jace mills over 2 cards, and I win. So that is a very tricky little pile, and definitely a very good one to be aware of. You don't always need Act on Impulse or Frenzy in your piles to win the game. Stay sexy.